Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we have been working on an exciting project over the weekend, and it's transforming our dining area and doing something kind of like new and special in there that we've not done before. So I'm splitting this video out into two parts because there's quite a lot going on. But just to take you back, obviously a lot has changed in our kind of dining area anyway. So when we moved in, actually the dining area was separate from the kitchen. There was a wall separating the two, which we had knocked down. But the dining room in general was a really good size, but it was just very dark, closed in. It had this massive kind of orange pendant light. It was just very, very dated. So there was like wallpaper stripping, removing walls. We obviously pulled up all the flooring. The French doors in there have now been changed as well. So the difference between when we moved into this house and the start of this project are very, very different, but we just want to kind of like bring an extra something. So let me show you what it's looking like at the beginning of this project. Okay, so here is the view of the dining room from the other end of the kitchen. So please ignore the mess. Where those stacked chopping boards are is basically where the wall used to be. So it's opened this space up massively. We've obviously painted that back wall, but as you can see, it's not perfect because we always knew we were going to be doing something to that wall. So we didn't want to waste loads of time, you know, decorating it if we were going to change it. At the moment, what we've got in here is our dining table, which was a Facebook find. That was £70, and I just sanded it and kind of gave it a slight whitewash. We love it. It's a really good size. I think it's 2 meters by like 80 centimeters. So it's a really big table. The chairs are also a Facebook Marketplace find. They were in our old house, but as you can see, they are covered in like paint and all sorts. So we'll be touching those up at some point. We do want to do bench seating in here along the back at some point as well. But I don't know if we'll be doing that in this. We do want to do bench seating along the back as well, but I don't know entirely what kind of seating I want to go for yet. So that will be in a future video. But the main thing we're going to be working on today is adding a little something to this back wall. So our kitchen is super minimal, very, very clean, and it just looks a bit bland at the moment. So I knew from the get-go that I wanted to do something just to add another element to this room and add a little bit more detailing rather than it just being a white box. So we are going to be paneling the back wall. I am torn between two different styles of paneling at the moment. So option number one is doing a really, really thick kind of board, not like a shiplap, like a really modern kind of like, I don't know what you would call it. I'll put in some inspo photos so you guys kind of know what I'm talking about. But just literally like a cladding on the back wall, simple white. We'll put some artwork up there. Obviously we're going to be hanging a nice new pendant light, and then just put some like greenery in here as well to kind of break it up. As you can tell at the moment, it's super echoey. So I feel like we need more kind of like soft things in here to kind of break that up. Option number two would be to do a more kind of strip wood kind of design. So I know that slatted kind of style is really, really in right now. For us to do slats condensed across this whole wall would be extortionate. It would be so expensive. Materials are so expensive at the moment. But I've seen this style that I think works really well, where you use the thin slats, but you kind of space them out a bit more. It just adds a little bit of something. It adds a bit of depth, but it's a far cheaper way to get that kind of effect rather than paneling the whole wall. So those are my two options. I basically just need to sit down, I need to measure, I need to calculate how much it's going to cost, how much, I don't know. I'll ask Steve as well what his thought process is. But one thing that I'm also keeping in mind is I think in the future I would like to continue the paneling into the lounge just behind the sofa, because I don't know, like they're obviously two different rooms, but they're so open that I think that would look really nice flowing through, and it would link the two rooms together really well. So I'm kind of bearing that in mind as well. So plan this morning, it's actually quite late. We had a bit of a sleep in, it's like 10:30 already. So we're gonna pop to B&Q now. First I need to sit down, measure, plan, get everything sorted in my head. We're probably, well, whichever option we go for, we're gonna use MDF and B&Q have a free cutting service. I think it's 4 free cuts if you're just like a normal customer, and I think if you're a trade customer you get like 14 or something, but the cuts are only like 50p or something after that point. So if you're looking to do a paneling project, I have found that from looking before and like researching, that's the cheapest way to do it, is like just get MDF, don't buy the pre-cut slats, get a sheet of MDF and just get B&Q to cut them for you, because you'll save a lot of money that way. So yeah, I need to make a plan. I'm going to do a drawing, do all the measurements, and then go to B&Q, get all the supplies that we need. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to attach it to the wall as well, because that is a solid brick wall. If it was like a stud wall, I'd be able to like nail into it, but I don't think that's going to be possible for this. So I need to make sure that I've got the right adhesive or whatever I need. And then once that's done, caulk, paint. Yeah, it's gonna be a busy day, but I'll check back in with you guys when we're at B&Q or back from B&Q, whichever one. Yeah. Legit like an hour later, and literally all of the MDF in B&Q. It was £117 we spent on skirting and paneling and adhesive. So I'm gonna head to Asda really quickly, get some lunch. It's like 12 o'clock now, and then have lunch when we get back, and then we'll just crack on with the projects and hopefully get all of the paneling up today. And then can you see me over there? And then I reckon we'll end up like painting tomorrow.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
Right, so all of the wood is in. We've moved the dining table to the side, obviously, so it's out of the way, and we're just using that as like a little table to store stuff. So when I spoke to you this morning, I didn't know what I was even going to do. We obviously know now because we put all the supplies. So I think option one was doing thin slats, and option 2 was doing just big planks. We've gone down the route of doing big planks. The thin ones I think would look really, really cool. But I think we both just preferred like the big, wide boards. And yeah, like this wall is not in like, it's not like perfectly smooth. So I think we were just like, oh, there'll be a lot of legwork to kind of like get it perfect how we want it. So we decided to go for the big boards. We just like that look. So timber wise, we got 4 sheets, 4 of the bigger sheets that you can get in the MDF in 6mm thickness. We also got another sheet which is thicker, which is for our skirting boards. So you'll see here, these panels are about 38 centimeters wide. Those are our wall panels, and these thicker planks here are 14 centimeters wide. Those are going to be our skirting boards, because obviously we don't have skirting boards there yet. So we need to actually do the skirting boards first and then do the paneling on top. So that is the plan. That's what we've gone for. I've got the receipt so I can tell you. So all of that, and we got a grab adhesive, was 117. We actually had a credit voucher for like 18 quid, so it ended up being like 99 pounds. In terms of the cutting service, I think this is quite a good tip. So like I said before, I think your first 4 or 5 cuts are free, and then after they're 50p. If you're a trade account, which we have a trade account, you get 15 free. I think ours were gonna end up being more like 20, but what he actually did was, because we had 3 big sheets and we were cutting them all the same size, you can ask them to put all of the sheets on at the same time, and they just cut them 3 sheets at a time. So there's not as many cuts. So we didn't actually pay for the timber cutting service because it was free in the end. So yeah, plan of action. I've just dusted down this wall to make sure there's nothing to stop the glue from sticking. We're gonna put the skirting board on first. The adhesive that I have is, I have some of this no nonsense stuff. One of them is pretty much empty. So I've got 2 of those, and I picked up an extra one, which is just like a dial from 𝐷&Q. It's like a cheaper brand, but anyway, we're gonna see how we get on. I have Googled, I'm sweating already, it's so hot. I have Googled, and basically with paneling, it says that you can just, what's the word? Just put it straight on the board with the adhesive, and the adhesive should, if you get the right adhesive, should be strong enough. So I couldn't actually find any brad nails at 𝐵&Q. I don't have any left. So I'm hoping we won't have to need to brad nail it, but you never know. So yeah, plan now is to get them up on the wall. So skirting boards first. I need to get my saw out of the garage so I can cut the, obviously, skirting board to length. We also didn't get these big panels for the wall. We didn't get them cut to the right length. We got the width cut, but not the length. We were going to get the length cut, but we were a little bit concerned because the skirting board's not already installed. Obviously, I'd like done the measurements, but we thought it'd be a bit safer just to cut them at home. But he's done the really difficult long cuts that we wouldn't be able to do, really. So yeah, I feel like I'm putting this off. Skirting boards, we're going to crack on with that now.
A lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
Okay guys, little update. The skirting board is on those 3 walls there. So just really quickly, I used adhesive. I ended up using my nail gun as well to just secure them on a little bit more. And I actually just caulked the bit between the wall and the skirting board along here, because obviously the wall isn't completely flat because no wall is. So yeah, I just caulked along there to fill those gaps, because obviously I won't be able to do that once we get the paneling on, and there will be some gaps obviously in between the panels. So I wanted to make sure that was all done. Now we can start with paneling. Are you ready?
I am the assistant.
Yeah, Steve's like handing me stuff. Yeah, so this is my thought process. I'm going to mark the middle part of the wall, probably get my laser level out to make sure it's straight, and we're going to work from the middle out, because I can't remember if I said this before, so we decided that we are going to run this paneling through to the lounge as well. So basically I based my measurements off of the lounge. The lounge wall is 3 centimeters bigger, which is fine. So we're going to have the same size paneling throughout, but it just means the end panel here and the end panel here, they each need to be 1.5 centimeters less wide, more narrow than the rest, which I think will look absolutely fine. So that's why we're going to start in the middle and work our way out. I need to get a couple of 2 pence coins so we can use the spaces, hey? You're so fully engaged in this, I can just tell. Yeah, and we're just going to blast through it. I don't know if some of these I may need to sand the edges because they're a little bit rough. We'll just see how we get on, really.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling, I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all going in life. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. Back a year ago.
Okay, so we have done the first 2. So basically we've got quite a good little cutting station here. We just push one of these boards over, measure it up, cut it right there because our kind of saw is just out those doors. Bit of adhesive, and then we're using our nail gun as well. We've just used 2p coins as spacers because it's about 2 mil. So the gap is like really, really small, but I think that's good. The only issue we're having is basically just like stuff's not level. So as you can see at the top, like the ceiling's just not level and it's really difficult. I mean, it'll be fine once we caulk it and everything, but that is like the one kind of struggle that we're having at the moment, is just trying to like get them level when we put them up. But hopefully now that we've got the first 2 up, we can just sort of fire through the rest of them, and once it's all caulked up, it will look a lot better as well.
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Fuck me, I'm looking in the mirror, so foggy, but I've never seen clearer. I don't really think anyone can save me, and honestly I'm not really sure I want saving. I like to be my own worst enemy. There's no risk if you don't try at anything, so I'ma just keep buying everything. See you in the next life, have to be a better me. I don't think that my head's on straight, gotta flip it and grip it and go and get an x-ray. What's wrong with me? I just feel weight pushing on my chest and it squeezes till I suffocate. Better change my mindset, meditate. It's pretty cool that I'm alive and have better days. I could walk, see, hear, I should celebrate. Think I could change my mind, maybe elevate. Living life, every day, late at night.
Oh, right guys, I've not been filming every single step of this because it's quite repetitive and boring, but it's starting to come together, so thought I'd give you a bit of an update. We're pretty much there. I've just put all the rest of the panels on. I've left the end ones because I need to kind of trim them down width-wise. Also, I've just seen that there's like a nail up from where we took down the cornicing previously. Around the around the plug socket, I've just made notches in the wood, which is really simple. You just literally loosen the screws so they're ever so slightly slotted behind. I've obviously got a cover to go on that, which I won't put on until we've painted, but we are nearly there. Just one on each side. I don't know if you can even see the pesky nail because it's like been painted over. But yeah, I'm nearly running out of adhesive, so hopefully I've got enough to last me, but I need to go out and get caulk tomorrow anyway. Made good progress. This doesn't take too long to do, to be fair. It's now like 5 o'clock nearly, and we probably started like 1ish, but I've not been doing it solidly. Steve's gone out, so I've been doing it by myself basically. So you can do it by yourself. It's taken me a couple of hours to get to this point, but I've taken loads of breaks just because like mentally I'm tired from like checking measurements and stuff. So yeah, we are getting there. I think my makeup is literally smudged all over my face, but we are done for today. So these things always take longer than you think. It's like 6 o'clock now. I basically made the mistake of sitting down. So in theory it doesn't take that long, but if you need regular like support and emotional breaks because you're already gonna F it up, then it might take a while. So paneling is all done. So like I said before, we measured the center point and went out. Turns out we didn't quite get it right because the walls on either side aren't perfectly straight, but I don't think you notice it. So the very end panel on the right is like 1 centimeter more narrow than the one on the left. But like I said, you like really don't notice it, especially once it's all painted white. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's actually making the room look bigger, even though it's darker. It's making the room look bigger in here, which is kind of surprising but also not. I think like a nice wide vertical board like this kind of makes a bit of an illusion. So I'm gonna call it a day for, I don't even know how to speak. I'm gonna stop now. I literally use so much adhesive. I think I used 2 whole thingies of adhesive. So however much adhesive you think you'll need, like double it. I have also run out of caulk, so I was hoping I could have caulked a bit tonight, but tomorrow we are gonna get some caulk, start painting. So hopefully tomorrow's like the fun bit basically. It's like the painting and then decorating. End of day 1. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Good morning guys. So feeling refreshed today. We're gonna tackle this and hopefully get it done pretty much. So Steve has popped out to go get some more caulk. I am gonna just go around with my hammer, and where I used my nail gun to attach some of these panels, like some of them aren't sitting like perfectly flush, so I'm gonna knock them in a little bit, just go over and make sure nothing's sticking out. It's gonna be glaringly obvious when we start painting. I'm gonna fill any little bits that I do need to fill. Hopefully there's not too much. But yeah, I just want to make sure it's perfect before obviously we start painting. Before we start painting, we need to caulk, because I kind of like Googled and was like, oh, could you caulk afterwards? Like, but it does say to caulk first. Obviously you get paintable caulk, so that'll be next on our list, is to caulk obviously the top bits, edges, like everywhere basically. So Steve's getting caulk, we're gonna caulk, and then we're gonna be painting, which is the fun bit. The caulk that I've asked Steve to get is paintable within an hour, so hopefully that won't take too long to dry and we can crack on and get this all painted. When we start painting, I'll show you the paint that I've got as well. But yeah, another busy day of DIY. I'm just excited to see this now like transform and come together. Like the painting for me is exciting because you can kind of see it start to look, you know, I kept on coming in last night and looking at this and I love it, but I'm gonna love it a lot more when it's white. So I'm excited to crack on today.
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Fuck me, I'm looking in the mirror, so foggy, but I've never seen clearer. I don't really think anyone can save me, and honestly I'm not really sure I want saving. I like to be my own worst enemy. There's no risk if you don't try at anything, so I'ma just keep buying everything. See you in the next life, have to be a better me. I don't think that my head's on straight, gotta flip it and grip it and go and get an x-ray. What's wrong with me? I just feel weight pushing on my chest and it squeezes till I suffocate. Better change my mindset, meditate. It's pretty cool that I'm alive and have better days. I could walk, see, hear, I should celebrate.
Steve is back with the goods. So we've got some caulk and I got him to get me some more adhesive because, you know, we always need that. We're going to do the living room anyway. Steve got himself some breakfast from Greg's. So I'm going to start caulking. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
Right guys, so we have left the caulk to dry. I also sanded down all the little filler bits and dusted the wall down so that we're ready to paint. Got all our cloths down, ready. So we are going to be using this, which is actually furniture paint, but you can just use it on wood. I've used it loads of times before and I absolutely love it. It's by 𝐷𝐻𝐿, which I think is a 𝐵&Q own brand. And it's the self-priming, flat matte, brilliant white paint. So we've got that, we've got our tray out ready to go. I think the way that we're gonna do it is use the brush to kind of get in all of the cracks and everything, and then use our foam rollers. I think we'll get the best kind of finish. We may pivot, change our mind, but that is the plan.
Seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling, I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and...
We have a white wall again. My camera ran out of battery whilst we were painting, so I have no idea how much of that we have filmed. But as you can see, first coat of white has gone on. Honestly, like, I'm still shocked that these panels seem to make the room look a lot bigger. We'll wait until everything's back in, obviously, to like judge it properly, but it's looking really good. So obviously it's just the first coat. It's definitely gonna need a second one. We need to get some more paint because that little tub is not enough. But yeah, we've gone around, we've painted those bits of skirting as well. We actually ended up using a big fluffy roller, like a wall roller, because the foam roller wasn't giving it really that good of a coverage, and it was just taking about a million years to do. So we reverted back to the big fluffy roller, and the finish is absolutely fine on it. In terms of like the cracks, I said before that I was gonna get a paintbrush and go in the cracks with a paintbrush. We've not done that because as soon as we started rolling, we were like, hang on, it looks really good having like the cracks a bit darker. So where in places where there has been like too much paint in the cracks, we've just been kind of like smoothing it out with a paintbrush and stuff. So yeah, really happy with how it's looking so far. Thoughts, Steve, so far?
Oh, yeah, I think it looks good. Obviously it needs another coat of paint.
Yeah. It looks better in real life than it looks on camera.
I think
which
it
is
makes
really
the wall
annoying.
look a bit bigger.
That's what I said.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. We were chatting about this as well, like whether we should, not right now, but in future, we're gonna see how it all comes together, but we could actually paint the paneling a different color. So that's something we're thinking about, but we just want to kind of get everything in and just see what it looks like in situ. So we got to wait, it says 12 hours, but I've never waited 12 hours before. So I think we're just going to see how it dries. So we wrapped up all of the painting yesterday. We ended up doing 2 coats of that kind of furniture paint. It does need some more touch-ups, so it does need a little extra like caulking down the edges and another coat of paint in places, but it is looking so good. So let me show you what it's looking like now. We are beyond happy with how this turned out. Obviously, this is the first time we've ever done any kind of like paneling project like this before. So it was a bit scary, but actually it's really easy. I feel like anyone can do this project. The only thing you have to just make sure is you're getting your measurements right and that you're getting them level. But actually it's really easy and you can even do it by yourself. I ended up doing most of the panels by myself, so it can definitely be a one-person job as well. We're obviously gonna, like I said before, run it through into the lounge as well in the future, and I think that will give it a nice kind of like cohesive feel to both of the rooms because it's kind of semi-open plan. Obviously the room is far from done. We have a lot more work that's going to be going on in that room. We've got some really exciting final touches to add to the room as well. So this is just part 1. Make sure you subscribe for part 2 because that's when it's all going to come together, and I'm very excited because that is the bit that I love the most, is all like the final touches and stuff. But yeah, really happy, pretty cost effective. I think all in all it's probably about £100 to do a project like that, and yeah, pretty easy as well, and it takes you about a weekend. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up because it really supports my channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one.